Are you struggling with Amazon KDP sales? Well, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the key elements to improve in your Amazon product listing so your book can actually rank better and get more sales organically. All right, so let's get right into this video. And just quickly, in case you're new to the channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different Amazon accounts. And we have a free Facebook group with 230,000 authors in it. And with our self-publishing titans.com tools, we have helped over 300,000 authors. So that's just a quick thing about us. So let's check the first book that was submitted to us. So here we have a book that has a bestseller rank of 6 million and is not really getting any sales currently. So let's see what we can find here. So the title is Overcoming the Fragile Ego: How to Build Your Inner Strength, Emotional Intelligence, and True Self-Confidence. Overcoming Fragile Ego. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that title. I would personally feel like that maybe a positive title or like a positive outcome or something like that might sound better as the title, and then the subtitle could kind of talk about what we're solving or the problem to overcome, etc. That would just be my own personal preference between the title and the subtitle. So just a slight tip there. The subtitle sounds fine, but then the main thing that we're missing here is what's the main niche? What's the main keyword here that we're trying to rank for? So fragile ego, I doubt anyone is searching for that really. Inner strength, something, but emotional intelligence, true self-confidence. I feel like that would be the best thing maybe so far. So we're going to use our Titans Pro Chrome extension just to see all the Amazon search suggestions for that. And in case you're not familiar with this Chrome extension, you can just go to selfpublishingtitans.com and click on the all-in-one Chrome extension. And then it's this one here, for anyone wondering. It's a brand new one. But here we can see self-confidence, high demand, low opportunity, but self-confidence journal, opportunity of 9, self-confidence workbook for adults. So that's already sounding a lot friendlier, kind of nicer. Also has an opportunity of 9, self-confidence books for teens, for men. So that's just the kind of rabbit hole I would go down, different kind of keywords that would fit this book, and then use that in your title, subtitle, and definitely also your 7 backend keywords. And then that will really help the Amazon algorithm understand what your book is about, help you get better organic rankings, and then obviously sales. So looking at this cover here, I'm not really the biggest fan of it. The one thing I do like is the background color, but then there's too many different fonts and elements and 3D dimensions. And then here we have those different stripes at the top, which doesn't suit any theme. Here we have an orange line, but it's off center. We can see there's more space on the left than the right. And then here we have a 3D font moving upwards. Here it goes down, and then here it's like triple, like Inception. And then here we don't have anything. Here we have no shadows or 3D dimensions, and then same here. And then I almost feel like with the 3D effect, it's almost kind of trippy. Yeah, I would probably redo the full cover, honestly. I would probably recommend just hiring somebody on Fiverr. You could probably find someone decent for this kind of nonfiction, high content book for probably $20 or something like that, and then get you something really clean looking. I think that would do really well, especially since this book seems to be quite lengthy, so you'd obviously put a lot of time and effort into it. Your book would just deserve a truly high quality cover. And that's just because a person does judge a book by its cover. So when someone sees your cover, they want to think of it as premium looking, high quality looking, and professional, because if you have such a long book, I think that's only fair for the amount of work and effort you put into it. So let's look at the rest of your listing here. So one thing I noticed here is that you have a Kindle book, and it's also set for Kindle Unlimited. I'm a big fan of that. I always encourage taking advantage of the Kindle Unlimited thing, even if you get paid less. I like that you have a hardcover version and paperback, so you have 3 listings basically and 3 chances to get organic rankings. So that's really, really good. Looking at your description, I don't like that it's all caps and underlined, and then it's normal text, and then here, once again, all caps and underlined and bold. So it kind of looks a little bit messy for me. It doesn't look as clean as it could or should. And then what I want to see is you moving these bullet points up higher and then get rid of 4 or 5 of them, just so we have the 5 main ones. And then we could put that just below this line. Yeah, but I would clean up the formatting a little bit, make it a little bit more clean looking, less kind of hectic all over the place. Okay, so we have A+ content, which is great. So good job for putting in the effort for that. My only suggestion here is that this looks a little bit plain. Obviously, we just have a lot of text just plainly pasted onto a black background. So here I feel like we could have some elements, some icons, some images. And then since this is about self-confidence, maybe we can show someone that looks like has less confidence and then a lot of self-confidence afterwards. So kind of like the before and after journey. I think that could be quite nice. But let's just put some color and some creativity. I think that'd be really good. So let's look at your categories. So emotional self-help. So good job on picking that one. Happiness self-help. I also like you chose that in personal transformation. So it looks like you did a great job choosing high relevant categories for your book. So well done for that. Looks like you have a high quality image here, which is great. And then we also have a quite lengthy author description. So that's really cool. That you did quite well. You did the categories quite well. Having A+ content is good. I would just make it a little bit better. And what I would just suggest is maybe the person that creates your cover can also make your A+ content. So it's the same kind of design style and flow. I think that could do you quite well. And then overall, just the keywords that need to be improved. For now, you could just put them in your 7 backend keywords and see if that helps. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck with your book. Let's check the next one. So here we have a activity book. So right off the bat, I can see here that this is very, very short for a title and subtitle, especially for an activity book. So medium content books like puzzle books, activity books, coloring books, your title and subtitle in general can be longer than that, where you can have more keywords and more descriptive words to help a person understand what the book is about and just try to rank for even more keywords. So it says hooray for pre-K. That's supposed to rhyme, so it does that. A fun learning activity book. I guess the title and subtitle, they're clean, straight to the point, but what we're missing here is just a niche. So I guess learning activity book, but since this is for pre-K, then maybe we can also say the age group that this is meant for in your subtitle, and maybe also describe what kind of activities it is. So let's see here. So we have letter writing practice, and different simple games. So I would also say that letter tracing, that would be a great keyword to have in here. And then the other puzzle names, that would have been a perfect place to have in the subtitle, because then someone can instantly know what your book is about, which is great for getting more clicks onto your listing, but also great for the search algorithm to rank your book for more keywords. So that's definitely a big miss that I think would have helped you really a lot. But let's look at your front cover to see what we can do here. So for ages 3 to 5, okay, so here we have that. So that should have been right in the subtitle. So learning activity book for kids ages 3 to 5. So that would have been a nice long tail keywords. And then after that, we can say includes letter tracing and then blah, 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 the other ones. So a fun learning activity book. So here, just a slight mistake is the fun is not capitalized. So that by itself would probably ruin the sale, since this is like an educational kind of book. So we definitely want to make sure that we have our spelling grammar right. So definitely encourage you to fix that right away. And then created by certified pre-kindergarten teachers. So that's cool. I kind of like that it's in the cover, but then potentially, depending on what the title and subtitle is, that could have also been like created by a teacher or something like that. I could have potentially gone there, but we could even shorten that, created by a teacher, just so we have less text on the cover, less space taking it up. But I like that you are a certified pre-kindergarten teacher. That's really cool. I like the cover design on the bottom. I think we have nice colors, nice creativity, nice design. So that's all really cool. The only thing I didn't quite like is how much text there's at the top, and then the text covering the clouds, and then the red line, the red box here, kind of touching on the cloud. I feel like that could be slightly optimized and looked a little bit nicer. And then for the text on top, it feels slightly flat. Maybe you can add a little bit of shadow to it or some kind of contrast just to make it stand out from the background a little bit more. And then one thing I just noticed here a little bit is that the text in the red box is off center. So there's a lot more space at the top than there is on the bottom. So that's something I would also fix just to make it look slightly more professional. And then same thing here. So for ages 3 to 5, we're touching the rim here, but then then there's a big gap on this side. That's something I would fix. And yeah, I think that would give it a lot better look for that. Looking at your description, we have one chunky paragraph, but no bullet points. So the way I would improve that is having one main line at the top and then figuring out your 5 best bullet points of what this book is about. So you can mention what age it's for, you can mention the games that are in it, the size of the book and things like that, and then having it near the top. And I think that would also do really well. I'm looking at the date of this book. So this is from last year and we're not getting any sales. And since this is a brand name, I would almost encourage you to unpublish this book, fix the slight mistakes on the cover and the slight adjustments to make it look just that much more crisp and better, and then improving your title and subtitle, and then republishing it. And then the reason I would suggest that is when you publish a book newly, Amazon will give your book a boost and a push in the organic search rankings while it's testing out your book to see how it's going to do in that niche and compared to other competitors. So republishing just gives you a much bigger chance for the book to take off again. And since we're not getting any sales, we have nothing really to lose. So just one tip for anybody that's not getting any sales with an old book: if you are not stuck on the author name, you could unpublish it and republish it on a new name while obviously fixing all the things you can. So I think that could be good. Looking here, I don't see any A+ content, so that's a big miss and something we definitely want to have for activity books, especially because we want the parents or the buyers to see what kind of activities they are, and we want to show as many of them as possible. The more we can show them, the more likely they are to buy. So looking at your categories, I only see 2 here, but early childhood education and homeschooling, that's potentially fine, but I would have at least one that's in the activity book niche for categories. So I would choose one for that. And then here, what I'm noticing is that we don't have an author image and then no description. So definitely want to have that. And then we have 1 rating. So that's a good start, at least better than nothing. Yeah, so once again, I think the main miss here is the slight mistakes on the cover, no main keywords in your subtitle, the lack of bullet points and lack of A+ content. So I think you fix that and then unpublish and republish. I think you could do much better. So I wish you the best of luck. And if you want to republish and submit your book again, I would love to look at it again and then to see where we stand. But I would love to continue helping you. So let's look at the next one here. So we have a vision board book, which is great because that's the first one we've had in this series, but no sales, unfortunately. So let's see why we're not getting any sales. So here it says vision board clip art book for women. So vision board clip art book, that's fine, but I would feel like vision board's book as an exact match could be potentially better. That's something I would check with the Titans Pro Chrome extension to see which one has better domain and opportunity. So just one tip here, but otherwise your title sounds clean. 300+ powerful quotes, pictures, affirmations, and more to design, create, and manifest your dream life. So that sounds really nice. I wouldn't have any major changes here. The only thing I would say is maybe shorten it up just slightly so we don't have 3 lines of title, rather just 2. I think that could be a slight improvement, but really no major deal. So overall, I think title and subtitle is okay, but I would just check on the main niche, and whatever the better exact match is what I would choose. So looking at the cover, it looks like we have a lot of different elements here. Looks quite creative and fun. Let's just look at your competitors to see what we can find here. See here with our Titans AI tool, we can see that your overall listing has a score of only 46. So that also explains the lack of sales. Okay, so here we have some competitors. So we can just compare to see what yours looks like compared to theirs. So when looking at these ones here, I like the top one the most. I feel like it really represents a vision board, and I like that the title is right in the center. It kind of grabs your attention towards the center of the book. So this one kind of communicates really well to me that this is a vision board book. This one here with clip art, I think looks really cool. I feel like this one is also nicely positioned and placed and formatted. So when I compare yours to these two, I would kind of feel like that this one, especially since this is also clip art, looks slightly better than this one. This one somehow communicates even more clip art to me than this one. And one of the main things I like is that we have some images here and I kind of feel like they were stuck on a page. So maybe we can take some inspiration from these ones just to improve the cover a little bit more. I don't think this is a bad job at all by any means. I think this is quite good, but obviously we have to be tough on us when looking at the competition, especially when we're not making sales. So let's see if we can improve this cover, and then I think that could also help you. Obviously, the goal is always to be as good, but ideally even better than your competition. And then here, yeah, I like this A+ content image. This one's also fine, and good job for having A+ content in the first place. And then here, everything you need for your vision, and then beauty, health, wellness. I guess one thing that's maybe missing here is showing what that looks like, because I'm not too sure what this text represents. And then since this is for women, maybe you would have a woman there, not a man. Just a little thought, because we're targeting women here. So I'll probably just put a woman here as well. Okay, so you have an author profile image, which is good, but then no description, so definitely add that. And then we do have reviews, which is great. Okay, so I think the main thing to do is improve your cover so it looks even better than the competition. We're at a good start here, but we just want to take it up one level. And then I would check here for the main niche between vision board book and vision board clip art book to see which one is better. Yeah, so that would be my feedback for you. All right, so I hope that was of help to you. And let's check the next book here. So here we have a book. It's getting some sales currently, so that's nice to see. So let's see what we can do to boost your sales even more. And then the first thing that stuck out to me, which I want to compliment you on, is that we have a Kindle book and Kindle Unlimited. We have an audiobook, a paperback, and hardcover. So I think you are the first person to have all 4 book formats. So really well done for all the effort for making that happen and really going all in with your books. So really, really great job. And as Amazon gets more and more competitive, it is really more important to have as many book types as possible, because each book type, once again, can rank for different keywords and just help you get overall sales and more reviews faster. And then obviously we have for Kindle ebooks, they can sell on its own on Kindle devices. Audiobooks can easily sell on the Amazon app. So this is a lot of ways to get sales, which is really great. So let's look at your title. So How Women Lead. So that's a strong title. I like that. Then here we have the essential guide for empowering women in leadership roles, unlock your potential, overcome imposter syndrome, and create positive change in the workplace. Okay, so the title is good. No duplicate words. It doesn't feel spammy. It is quite long, so one thing I would suggest is for future books, maybe keeping it slightly shorter. Sometimes having long titles can be good, but having long titles can also overwhelm or confuse the Amazon search algorithm, because the more words you have in it, especially if it's many different kind of words like guide and empowering and leadership and potential, imposter syndrome, positive change, workplace, there are like so many different keywords and niches that it might also become a little bit hard for the algorithm to understand what your book is about and what niches to rank your book in organically. Obviously, we're getting some sales, so we're on the right track, but this is just a thought for future. But overall, you did well, so good job on that. Let's look at your cover. So How Women Lead, so that's good. The Essential Guide for, I guess that text is really small, especially if you're like on the mobile app. I don't think anyone will be able to read that. Let's just throw that into our competitor analysis, because there we can see the thumbnail images, which is more closer to what it looks like on the mobile app. And obviously a lot of people are buying books on the Amazon app, so we have to keep that in mind. We have to optimize the cover and the title for what they see on the Amazon app. And just a quick tip and hint, the book title is shown less in the Amazon app than on the Amazon browser. So Amazon cuts off the title sooner on the mobile app. So you want to have your most important keywords or most important words earlier on before it gets cut off. But here, so looking at your cover here, you obviously can't see all of this text down below, but we can see How Women Lead. I would almost say that how is potentially a little bit small as well. Maybe we make it similar font sizes, just a slight thought. But one thing I like here is that our Titans AI gave your listing a score of 64. So it's already pretty good, but obviously you want to get as close to 100 as possible. But we are in the green, which is great. And it just makes sense because you are getting some sales. So we're definitely on the right track here. Then the only other thing that I could suggest for your cover here is that the white kind of blends in with the background. So maybe we can have a subtle color that could work with this cover, just so your cover stands out even more. And then one slight thought is maybe having a face, not just a full black image here. So we can see some eyes or something. Maybe that looks slightly better. Just an additional thought. And then I would probably get rid of some of the text here. I feel like it's a lot of text on the cover, and I don't think it's really needed to have so much text on there. But this is just a minor point, and you don't even have to listen to that advice. It's just more of a personal preference. So here we have a really long description, which is great, but the bullet points are way too low. So what we want to have is before the read more button, before a user clicks on it, we want to be able to see the bullet points at the top, because the bullet points are really just highlights of what the book is about and what the reader can get out of the book. So we want them to be able to see that without clicking read more. Otherwise, they're just more likely to skip past it. Looking here, we don't have any A+ content. So that's something that's definitely a miss here. So I would, in your A+ content, have women that show like they're leading. I would have some quotes from your book, or maybe some images from your book, just something to make it kind of exciting and more creative and more descriptive for a potential buyer. So I highly encourage you to do that. Looking at your categories here, nonprofit management and leadership, career guides, job hunting, and career guides. They seem like they're okay, but I would see if there's categories that could fit the book even more. If not, totally fine, but just something to double check. So let's go through the categories and to see if there's any more suitable ones. And in here, we don't have a profile image. So I would add an image of yourself or of the brand, just to make that look nicer, not blank. But good job for having a description here. So overall, I think you're on the right track. I think you're doing a great job. Once again, I want to compliment you on having 4 different book formats. You also have a lot of reviews. You're getting sales. So you're doing great. I hope that these changes will help you with this book and your future books. And I wish you the best of luck. So that's it for today's video. If you're enjoying these daily videos for the free training, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, please leave a comment down below and leave a like. And then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.